Who do we have here?
There's some good ones in there. I was just looking.
Oh yeah, good ones.
Yep.
Okay, so let's take the next call from Ahmed, Ohio, who wants to talk about him, who wants to talk about the hijab being a personal choice, which is not forced on her in Islam. Hello, Ahmed.
Hi, Apostate. I have a comment on the first call you got about the hijab. And my understanding, because I've been listening to this show and to other shows for a while, I'm a Muslim, of course, and that the atheist movement is a liberal movement and it stands for the civil rights. And I wish you asked the caller what bothered him about the hijab, because this is open his question that he doesn't like the hijab. It's his choice. But if a lady decided to wear hijab because it's mandatory in her religion and she believes in this religion, I think the best approach to that is to talk to her about this religion, if she, about the belief itself, not about what she do. It doesn't matter if he like the hijab or doesn't like the hijab. And I was expecting this answer from you, or I'm sorry, I don't have the name for the lady.
My name's Shannon. My name is Shannon.
Hi, Shannon. Hi, Shannon.
Hi. It's okay.
Because we are here about a civil rights situation. Somebody doesn't like the hijab, that's his choice. If any lady choose to put the hijab because it's mandatory in her religion,
okay. I get the point.
You heard us. I just want to make sure that before we keep going, I just want to make sure that you heard both of us say explicitly that you should never approach a woman wearing a hijab, and also that if it is her choice, you shouldn't interfere, because
I'm pretty sure we both emphasized.
Both of us said that. You did hear us say that, correct?
I think I heard you say that, but Apostate, I didn't. Maybe I missed it.
I said that very clearly. I think that was the first thing that I said in response to the actual point.
Just wanted to get that out of the way, because it sounded like your call was suggesting that neither of us said that, and I know that both of us did. So I just want that to be acknowledged.
Yeah, I also want to say one thing. Thank you, Ahmed, for calling. But I feel like this shouldn't be a situation where we are kind of, reprimanded and told that we should have said a certain thing. I also don't agree that there is a human rights situation going on here at play, or whatever it is. It was merely a discussion about the hijab and how one should talk to another person that they know about the hijab. So the caller was asking about how they should talk to their friend who, I don't know, engages with the hijab or wears the hijab, about the hijab. And we then talked about that. We are not under any obligation, not under any single obligation to make a remark in order to, correct their way of thinking or anything like that at all. It was also not necessary to make such a remark, because the caller did not imply that they need to go out there and make people stop wearing the hijab. That was not the point at all. I entirely agree. People can wear whatever they want. They can choose whatever they want. I shouldn't be, hostile to their choices. I shouldn't be trying to, make them take their clothes off or their hijab off. They can do whatever they want. But if it comes to discussions about whether the hijab is a good thing or a bad thing, or if it comes to interpersonal interactions between people who know each other, who are close to each other, then a discussion about the hijab can take place. And we can talk about that here freely. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, are you suggesting...
what the thing that make me think about calling you, because you, in your answer, you talked about the mandatory in Islam, about the things in mandatory in Islam. And
is it not mandatory?
It is mandatory in Islam. Yes, it is. Hijab is mandatory.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
Everything
Absolutely.
we do in yes, it is mandatory. And for Islam, everything I do as a Muslim is mandatory. I fast Ramadan because it's mandatory. I pray 5 times a day because it's mandatory.
Why is the hijab mandatory? Why is the hijab mandatory?
Why?
Like, why should somebody like me have to cover myself?
No, you don't have to, because you don't believe in Islam.
If I converted right now, if you convinced me that this religion was true and I converted right now, why would I have to cover myself then?
I will tell you why. The word Islam means submission. Once you believe that there is no God but Allah, and He is the only God and He's creator, and you believe in that Muhammad is the prophet, and you believe that the Quran comes from God, then by the logic you should obey. This is what the message of the Islam.
So I should just blindly obey. There's no reason why I need to cover myself. Why would I need to cover myself, but you don't?
Let me explain one little bit more about this, because in the modern age, a lot of Muslims volunteer their own personal explanation. For example, the Islam forbid me from eating pork. And by my college, I studied this a lot, the meat science, and I know a lot about it. And I see a lot of Muslims, they will volunteer this because the pork is dirty, the pork is bad for you. I mean, when we read the verses in the Quran, and Apostate can correct me on that, there is no reasoning for it. In the Quran, there is no reasoning for it.
It just says do it. So what you're saying is you don't actually want to give a reason as to why Shannon should do it. You just say the religion says it, so you must do it. That's what you're saying, right?
That's the reason.
Yes,
right.
If I give you a reason why you should wear hijab, this is gonna be my personal opinion.
Okay.
My personal opinion is not the religion. You know, I mean.
Okay, but what I'm wondering about is then what is the point of you calling about the woman wearing the hijab and not being forced on her? You think I think you said that it's a personal choice or something like that. So I'm trying to understand. You're basically agreeing with what I think about the hijab, except that I think it's a terrible thing to do and you think it's a good thing to do. But what exactly is the point of your call? Then I don't understand.
The point of my call that you talked a little bit about it's mandatory, and it wasn't clear to me. Maybe I wasn't listening because I was doing other things while I was listening. Really, maybe I missed it, but I just.
You agreed that it's mandatory, though, right? Like, it is mandatory.
Hijab in the Quran is mandatory, and the mandatory mean if you believe, you got to do this. There is no government.
What if I believe and I decide not to do it? Then what happens? What if I believe? What if like I said, this is still converted to Islam, Shannon. So I've converted to Islam. I believe, and I decide, even though I believe, because there's no reason, and I'm just supposed to do it. That doesn't seem reasonable to me. So I say, you know what? I'm going to be Muslim, but I'm also not going to wear a hijab. Then what?
There is a millions of Muslims just to do exactly.
I agree,
and this is
totally
between you and God, and between you and God.
Nothing then. Nothing would happen to me.
No, nothing should happen to you. Matter of fact, me and anybody who understands Islam good should defend your choice. This is between you and God.
Cool. This is the right thing. So the reason that I'm asking these questions is because that's not always the case, right? There are women who aren't given choices.
Where?
Everywhere in the world. Everywhere in the world. No. Yeah, you can't.
So what Ahmed is saying is that it is very much up to you in a secular society where Islam doesn't rule. We know for a fact, I have encountered many women in many families that basically force it on women. We know very much that if known women take off their hijab, then they receive tons of abuse. For an example, go check out YouTuber Dina Tokyo, for example. And we also know that in a Muslim society, in an Islamic society, the rulers are supposed to enforce the moral laws of their religion, which is why throughout Islamic history, like in certain Islamic societies today, the hijab is enforced. It is only in our time and in secular societies and in societies under secular influence that the hijab is not legally enforced. And that is not because of Islam, that's because of secularism.
Yeah, and that's the reason I brought that up. It's not like it got you. It's because the reason that people like that first caller call is because that is the case in other places. And that's something that's worth talking about. I know so many ex-Muslim women, so many ex-Muslim women that this was absolutely their experience. They felt as though they were subjugated. They felt as though they were forced to cover themselves. They felt as though they didn't have a choice. And I heard you speaking initially about, you know, atheism is supposed to be a liberal movement, and it absolutely is, which is why I defend the choice. Anybody who makes a choice to wear the hijab, so long as it is their choice, I would never interfere with them, and I would absolutely defend their choice. But you have to also simultaneously acknowledge that for many people it isn't a choice, and that is worth talking about. And you can't sacrifice them and their rights just because other people choose to exercise their choice in a free society. You can't ignore the fact that that's not always the case. So I think that might be kind of what that caller was attempting to talk about. And that's why sometimes people like me see it as subjugation, because it's not always a choice. And because a lot of the reasons that are given for it, like you said, basically, there's just no reason. But I've absolutely heard Muslims say that the reason is because women need to subjugate themselves. Women need to be subservient to men. Women need to hide themselves because they're considered sexual objects and men can't control themselves, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Those are things that happen. And denying that those things happen and brushing them under the rug is also not liberal and not a good thing, and not something that we would want for society. If every single person who had a hijab on their head right now had a hijab on their head because they made the free choice and they didn't feel like they were being subjugated, then I would shut the fuck up. But that's not the case.
Okay, I agree with you that hijab should not be enforced, and I agree also that there is some cases, and lately in Afghanistan they forced it, even not the hijab, even the burqa.
It's worth being talked about.
And I am against. I am against.
Awesome.
I'm against all that completely.
Cool.
But let us say, because so we don't make a bad publicity to the Muslim world, because if we talk, I'm Egyptian, and I know the lie. I've been in Egypt for a while, and I've been here in the United States. And yes, there is some families will do that, but this is wrong, and it's not supported by the book. It's not supported by the Quran. And
I'm happy to hear you say that.
Of that the percentage of that is not very high. And in America, and I've been in the United States for almost 30 years, I see the woman wearing
do the Quran or the Hadith say anywhere that you are not allowed to make women wear the hijab?
No, the Quran.
Okay, they don't.
When it gives
so when you say
the woman.
Okay, so the Quran tells women that they must wear it, and no Islamic source says anywhere that you are not allowed to make women wear the hijab. So why would you suggest that this is against Islam to make women wear the hijab?
I didn't say it's against Islam.
So within Islam, people can make women wear the hijab, right? Because this is not against the tenets of Islam in any way.
No, you cannot. Okay, here's two things I need to emphasize. That if a Muslim come to you and I give you any reasoning for the hijab, it's his personal opinion. It's not. Islam is what's in the Quran. You are ex-Muslim and you know the Quran and.
Okay, that's not what I asked them. That is not what I asked, Ahmet. What I asked is very simple. If, for example, in Afghanistan, the authorities command that all women wear the hijab, how exactly does that go against Islam, considering that Islam has no text, nothing at all, which says that this is not allowed?
This is violating the Islamic rule because the woman should do
Which Islamic rule?
Anyone.
Which Islamic rule?
Yeah.
Which Islamic rule? I'm asking you. Where is that in your texts?
Where in the text that every man is free to do?
Where in your text does it say that you are not allowed to mandate rules like the hijab on society or on women?
Yeah, la ikraha fi din. This verse it said no compulsion in religion. And it doesn't say
what that means is not that you are not supposed to force anybody to do anything, because the Quran also says that you are to treat, for example, homosexuals or people who commit adultery, or people who openly reject Islam in a certain way. It says, for example, in chapter 9, verse 29, that those who do not believe in Allah and His Messenger and who do not adopt the religion of truth from the Muslims, that they are supposed to be fought and killed until they are humble and accept your superiority in return for protection money. What you're referring to, a verse which says that there is no compulsion in religion, merely means that you cannot go and at gunpoint say you will become a Muslim now, that you are not allowed to do that. But if they don't become Muslims, you are allowed to fight them. You're also allowed to give rules. So where exactly does it say in your book that people are not supposed to mandate society to do certain things that are mandated within Islamic law?
The verses you just mentioned and you used, it was for a specific case in the fight.
No, it was not.
About specific people that was persecuting the Muslim. And
no, it was not. The Quran verse clearly says those who do not believe. It doesn't say these people.
I mean, you are not giving me a chance to finish. So how
Go
I
ahead.
can respond?
Go ahead, respond.
Yes, I mean, we come to the 19th century when the Middle East, when the Islamists come in, have all kind of religion, and the Muslim did not eradicate those people. While Europe, for example, was having only Christianity because all the other religion was eradicated. The verses that you bring about
did Muhammad himself not destroy idols and destroy temples?
Destroy the idol in Mecca.
Yeah, why did he do that?
All the Mecca become a Muslim. Huh?
That's not true. That's a lie. Muhammad, according to the Islamic reports, according to the Islamic traditions, Muhammad conquered Mecca. Look, I emphasize, he conquered Mecca, and then he walked to the Kaaba and destroyed all the idols. It does not say after everyone converted to Islam. He conquered Mecca and he went to the Kaaba and destroyed all the idols. He also commanded his people to go to certain temples and to destroy those temples and to kill everybody they find there, which happened. I can give you an example. Dhul Khalasa, for example, was a temple down in Yemen in Muhammad's time. According to your authentic Islamic reports, Muhammad told his guy to go there and to destroy it. He went, destroyed it, and killed all the people he found there. Came back to Muhammad, and Muhammad said, may Allah bless you and your tribe. This is what your sources say. You are giving opinions. No, you're giving opinions that are not based on anything.
No, this is a lie.
No, it's a lie. It's a lie. Sure.
Lie. Yeah, and let me tell you why. Because it is very famous, and you are the ex-Muslim to know that when Muhammad was.
So you just accused me of lying. So you just accused me of lying. So let me bring this up. Let me my source sheet.
I'm gonna take.
Okay. Here. Okay, I already have it here. Sahih Bukhari. Okay, please let me talk. Sahih Bukhari is a primary source that is considered entirely authentic next to the Quran within Islamic culture and Islamic religion. In Sahih Bukhari, Hadith 4355, it says, in the pre-Islamic period of ignorance, there was a house called Dhul Khalasa, or the Kaaba of Yemen. The Prophet said to me, won't you relieve me from Dhul Khalasa? So I set out with 150 riders, and we dismantled it and killed whoever was present there. Then I came to the Prophet and informed him, and he invoked good upon us and on our tribe. In another report, he says, bless you and your tribe. So how is that a lie? Did I make that up right now? I just gave you the source.
Yes. Yeah, let me explain to the people why I disagree with all that. Because your premise is wrong. You said that Bukhari is the righteous book, or is the correct book after the Quran. And you, in this situation, taking the same position like the Daesh, the Islamic State take.
Did I just make this up? Did I just lie? Can you give me a response to that? You just accused me of lying. Now you say something completely different. Did I just lie and make something up? Or did I give an actual instance of something that really happened according to your Islamic sources?
No, you don't have any proof that it is. If it wasn't the Bukhari, this doesn't mean it's happened. But you are not letting me know to tell you what Muhammad used to tell his army before he go.
Oh, we're gonna have to move on relatively soon, though, guys.
Yeah, I
feel like you guys could do this forever.
Yeah. Ahmet, one thing, Ahmet, I think we are very much done here. Thank you for calling. I will say goodbye to you, and I will say a few
Call
more
back
words.
the next time AP is on.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Please, next time.
Do more of that.
What I want to say here is, I didn't make this up. According to the Islamic traditions, this is the most authentic book which tells people about the things that Muhammad did or said. If you don't accept this source, then you can't accept anything that you hold about Islam. And in this book, we have not one, not two, we have 9 sources which all say, and this is considered by Islamic standards entirely unquestionably authentic, which all say that Muhammad's guy went there and destroyed a temple and killed every single person that he found there, and Muhammad praised him for that. And this is only one example. So there goes your lie. Thank you. Sorry I had to rant, Shannon.
I forgive you.